Hey guys, Joshua's Boosters here and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh video. Today we'll be doing something a little bit different. Because people suck at Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm gonna help you stop sucking. The structure of this video will be, I'll be explaining the thing you could be improving on. And then after that I'm gonna actually show you guys how I do that myself. So before I get into the gist of the video, I just want to say it's not like I have all the answers or anything. I'm not the best player in the world. I don't have perfect information or anything. However, I do think I'm quite knowledgeable about the game. I'd say I'm above average, probably. A lot of people who are watching my channel don't really seem to know this, but I do actually have some proper tops. I have 4 YCS tops, 3 Euros tops, I have 2 Dutch Nationals wins. Of course, Dutch Nationals isn't exactly the most impressive tournament of the year or anything, but I still think it's noteworthy to mention it. What we're gonna do today is I'm gonna probably make a series out of this where I just, I don't know, when I feel like it, tackle one of these subjects. To get better at this game, there's a lot of things people, they actually know they should improve, right? People, I often hear them talk saying they need to improve their deck building, or they need to learn how to side deck properly, and stuff like that. But one of the first things to actually help you improve at being a good player and make the difference from actually, you know, not being able to top regionals to topping regionals, topping YCS level events even. It's just something people, they are not aware of it, which is why it makes it quite hard to improve at it. And that thing is, and if you recognize yourself in this, like, I'm not flaming you or being toxic towards you or anything, I'm just trying to help out. But I've heard friends of mine, actually a lot of the time, who don't seem to be, you know, topping regionals that often and stuff. At the end of the day, they, you know, they had the best deck. They, let's say it's the current form, right? They were playing Virtual World, and they have all the cards, right? They just, you know, they put the money into it, and they bought the deck. And then they took the best deck and went to the regional and ended up going like 4-3 or something. And then at the end of the day, they'd be like, well, I didn't top, but I'm happy with my performance because I didn't make any misplays today. And I'm like, bro, if you were playing the best deck at a regional and you didn't make any misplays, you should have topped, 100% sure. Of course, there's situations where a game is literally unwinnable because, you know, your opponent is a good player and it just has the better cards and you won the Dire or something. But certainly at regional type events, if you're playing the best deck and your tactical play is literally perfect, you should have topped the regional, if not won it. And people have a really hard time actually reflecting on this. And they're just not aware of this because they don't take the time to actually properly analyze the matches they played. Something you will hear a lot of the times when you're talking to your friends in the event and, you know, they just lost the game. It's like, oh man, he top decked this one out. Or he got so lucky just drawing those cards. But the thing you should be wondering is, was there any line of plays you could have taken where even if you only had one out, maybe there was a line of play where you would have no outs to your field, right? Or maybe somewhere, if you were in a grind game, some turns before you made like a minor misplay that actually cost you to not be able to put up enough disruptions. Or, you know, maybe even you missed OTK somewhere and then because of that your opponent got another turn and that allowed them to OTK you. Or, you know, to come back into the game. And then the only thing you will be thinking about is, oh man, I got sacked. But the thing is, especially right now, it's a lot easier than it was previously to actually reflect on your games, especially in playtesting. Because, you know, a lot of playtesting, let's be honest, it happens on Dueling Book, especially with the situation going on right now. And Dueling Book actually has the dual record section where you can just watch your entire matches and pause if you want to, and you can just assess the game state and really look at what you could have done differently. And that way, you know, maybe you wouldn't have lost to that one top deck. I actually have a replay I'm going to be showing you in a little bit, where it looks like my opponent, like, he sacked me, he had like one draw from his drive from the fact that he just drew the perfect card, and then because of that he won the game. But we're just gonna like look at that replay and really analyze it and see if I really got sacked or if there was something I could have done differently. Then of course I sort of remember this match. It was actually a little bit ago that I played it, maybe like a month or something. But I haven't really properly looked at it yet, but I am pretty sure that I could have done something differently, and I'll just be doing this, and then maybe by watching me do it, you can also get a little feel of how you should do it yourself. So yeah, guys, with that all out of the way, let's just hop into the game, and we can assess my gameplay and see if I could have won. So yeah, guys, before I get into the actual match, I'd just like to point out or shout out my opponent here, Sam Hayes. He's a Dutch player from the Netherlands, of course, since he's a Dutch player. And a good friend of mine. He also streams Yu-Gi-Oh! As well, so you can find him on Suffer White Joe. I'll just post his the link below for his Twitch, so you can definitely check that out. Anyway, let's get into the game. I won the rock paper scissors, and I was going second Sky Striker, so I elected to go second, of course. So as you can see, my hand's really good. I have Widow Anchor, Droplet, Ray, Area 0, Shark Cannon. His hand is Doubles, Emergency, Gamma, Delta, and Penten, so also pretty good hands. I'm just gonna go fast forward through his plays, basically, since I don't have any hand traps, so there's very little to reflect on here, aside from deck building choices. But I think I played this match like 4 weeks ago, I think, and at this point in the format, I think this Sky Striker build was pretty correct. Anyway, so yeah, he's just doing his thing. He's playing the build that also plays what's his face, the Majesty's? No, it's not Majesty's Fiend. Fenty's Ruler, that's it. Oh, there it is. I'm searching it out right now with the Ben 10. And he's gonna hand on the Herald of Ultimateness as well. I think in the end of the combo, we will have knowledge of his entire hand except the one card. Okay, so that's it. So at this point, we know the Natasha, the Eva, and this is unknown for us, but we know he has 2 negates at least, and then that should be fine, because we should have 3 negates that will be enough to play through his field. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna start anchoring on his Vanity's Ruler. He does not know well, he knows the deck I'm playing, of course, since I activate the Widow Anchor, but before he didn't know that. He's gonna negate that, then I'm gonna chain Widow Anchor, which he's gonna negate as well. Then I'm actually gonna chain Shark Cannon targeting the Eva. I'm hoping this will bait his last negate if he has one, and if it doesn't, it banishes the Eva, so he won't be able to add the Light Fairies to hand with her effect, since it will have left the graveyard before it meets his trigger condition. He does not have a response, and then in the end I'll chain the Droplet, sending 2 of the spells to negate both his monsters. The thing here is, it would have been easier to just go Droplet right away and send a Ray, but then of course we don't have a guaranteed follow-up, we just have to get lucky with the Area 0, and I didn't really like that line of play. So yeah, at this point it's looking really good for us. We're very likely gonna end the entire field. So I'm gonna run over the Ruler here, since it's halved by Droplet, and then I'm gonna go into Hayate, sending multi-roll. So at this point it's looking really good for me, right? I think also at this point in the game, my technical play has been pretty on point, no misplay so far. Okay, I was gonna add multi-roll. I'm gonna go multi-roll. Then I'm gonna make a little misplay here, I think. I'm gonna go target Kagari, and this is a little bit of a misplay, since I would have needed to get lucky of this to actually out the ultimateness. But if I don't activate the Area 0 effect at all, I could have gone I just could have done the play I'm gonna do anyway, and that would have been probably better. So you'll see I'm just not gonna hit anything. But I'm gonna out the Herald anyway, which is pretty important, since he could pick up a Light Fairy from the as a top deck, and then it would have an additional negate for whatever disruptions I put up. But I'm gonna go into the Seek to banish the Herald here. Then going into Shizuku, and then I'm gonna add Eagle Boost and activate it, just to get another counter on a multi-roll, since now it's at 1 because of Area 0, and then after Eagle Booster it will be at 2, so I will be able to set both Shark and Widow Anchor. So I definitely think that plays correct as well. then he's gonna pick up Zeta here. And this is the turn where it actually gets interesting. So he's gonna activate Alpha, which is the one that searches a ritual monster, which will allow him to add Benten. And that will allow him to get a lot of resources for his other Drytrons in game. So I think I'm gonna Sharken in that. Yeah, so that seems pretty good. Then he's gonna go for Emergency here, adding Alpha to get back access. He's gonna go Gamma. Which I'm gonna allow. He's gonna go Meteonis to add back itself. Then here he's gonna go Delta Effect, which I can't do anything about. He's gonna draw a card, and he's actually gonna draw Fafnir here, which is basically the card that loses me the game, as you're gonna see in a little moment. So this is the point where you might go, whoa, I got sacked, so unlucky. If he didn't draw the Fafnir, I would have won, etc, etc. However, I'm gonna make misplay pretty soon, I think. He's gonna go summon the Benten. And then I'm gonna actually steal the Benten to shut him off from the extra resources. But what I feel like I should have done is actually just leave it there. Because as you're gonna see here, he's gonna get access to another Drytron. And that is actually gonna allow him to go into the Birdie here. And as you know, this card can attack directly, and that will of course eventually end on him going into Zeus. And the thing is here, I probably should have let him do literally everything. And then at the point he went for display, I should have just taken the Lyrilusk with the Widow Anchor. And that way I would have kept the multi-roll, which would have allowed me to set back like another Anchor and Fuse Spell probably. And then I just feel like at that point he couldn't have come back regardless of the extra resources he would have acquired with the Benten. So even though this seems really unlucky, it probably was a misplay. And you'll see he's just gonna go into Zeus here, and like he's just gonna Zeus again to shut me off of Ray. And at this point, if I don't top deck like Ray or Drones or Rose, I lose. Well, I definitely could have been in a way better position. And now you're gonna see I'm just gonna lose the game basically, because he just has like so much steam, which is one of the good things about Drytron, and I just have the Widow Anchor set to keep me alive. I think I'm even gonna survive this turn, but it's not gonna matter in the long run, because there's like at this point he's just gonna get so much advantage. I won't be able to come back. And actually I'm just gonna shut off the replay here and the video, because there's very little to reflect on after this. But yeah, that's just something I want to show you guys. That is really important to actually look at your losses, even if they seem very unlucky, to actually get better at the game. Because a lot of people, they don't do this. And they just almost always think like they lost because they had a bad matchup, or because their opponent's deck was better, or because their opponent sacked them, or because they bricked. And even things like bricking, you know, if you brick, that's like, if you brick a lot, that's probably a good moment to start analyzing your own deck building and see if your deck's actually, you know, as consistent as it can or should be. I hope this was a useful video for you guys. If you did think it was useful, please leave a like and a comment. And, you know, if you joined the content, if you like the content and haven't subscribed yet, I would be very grateful if you do so. We're nearing 1,000 subscribers, so pretty excited about that. But yeah, guys, thanks, and